There we go. Sorry about that. Forgot to get my mic on. Anyway, I'm Dennis O'Donnell, Vice President of Precision PCB Services, and we provide products, services, training, equipment for the manufacturer, basically assembly, rework, and repair, printed circuit boards, and electronic assemblies. Today, we're going to do a BGA Rework demo, and we are using the Shuttle SV550. So if you're using BGA Rework stations, or if you're in the market for a BGA Rework station, there are a lot of rework stations out there. We use and sell what they call split vision systems that allow you to line up the component with the circuit board. And if we don't use it or wouldn't use it, we wouldn't sell it. And for BGA Rework, we really prefer to have a split vision system and recommend that to our customers. A lot of them are very expensive. We have split vision systems anywhere from around $5,000 to $25,000 right now. And the one we're using today, this is my old workhorse. This is a 2012 unit. I've been using this on a daily basis since 2012. And it's a proof of good machine. We have a lot of customers. We do anyone from Intel, Cisco, Broadcom, excuse me, Rockwell Collins. If they make a circuit board, if they make a computer, if they make a computer chip, we've probably done rework for them. And this machine has proven to do everything. This is one of our close to entry-level machines, so it's inexpensive. A lot of people think that you need a big, heavy, expensive $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 machine to rework big boards, and that's not the case. These newer machines from overseas are very high-tech. They're very well designed. They're compact. They're made simple and efficient. So when you're using big boards, what you want is a nice area preheater. This one has a 6-zone preheater to heat up the board. And I like the infrareds because they distribute the heat more evenly than a hot air plate. So what this machine has, it has a 1200 watt upper hot air. It has 800 watt lower hot air. And then it has a 3600 watt perimeter infrared that heats the board up. So what we're doing is with the infrareds, we're preheating the board to get it up to a good temperature. And then with the hot air, we're actually just bringing the component area. We're doing selective soldering, and we're soldering the specific component area to a reflow temperature, not the rest of the board. But the machines are totally self-contained. They have their own internal air, their own internal vacuum. They're programmable, just like your cell phone. We got a little touch screen to do all your commands, and they're pretty much plug and play. What we do is we'll get them in here, we'll test them, we'll bring them in, we'll calibrate them, make sure everything's calibrated properly. Then we ship to our customer, and then if you need help with installation, employee training, profile development, we do all that. And then we have lifetime technical support with these machines. So you're not left out in the cold when you purchase one. No, if you've never used one before, excuse me. So today what I'm going to do is I want to show you that this little machine can do a really big board. Oops. There we go. So we have is a this one's a 0.120 thick board, which is rather thick. It has a lot of signal, a lot of ground, a lot of layers. I'm going to orientate this to pin 1, and I'm going to get it initially set here in our fixture. What we'll do is we're going to get this centered with the pickup tube. Then we're going to lock it in place. And I'm going to just turn the screen here to you so you can see what we're doing. Bring up the camera. Just going to zoom out a little bit. Let's focus. There we go. Got it focused. So what we have here, you can see our circuit board pads are in gold, and our pickup tubes are the red little tube in the middle here. And what I'm doing right now is I've got the board initially lined up and locked in place. And I'm just going to micrometer adjust it so that it's on center here. You see the center of the chip is right in the center of the pickup tube. And so our board's initially centered. So what I did is I don't use solder paste. I just use tacky paste flux. And what I did is I put a nice layer of tacky paste flux on the circuit board to help reflow the chip. What the tacky paste flux will do, I'm using a medium active, and this will clean up the oxidation. I like a tacky paste flux preferred to solder paste because I get a lot more flux using just straight flux than I would with solder paste. So since this flux is rather thick, it'll go up around the solder balls and get up in the upper joint of the BGA so that we don't get any air in there and cause any oxidation on the top side of the BGA during reflow. We just reballed this chip earlier, so it's got fresh solder balls on it. Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to hand place that chip right on top of the board like that. Going to open it up. Make sure that we're aligned, we're in the center. Next thing I'm going to do, normally I'll put the nozzle on first, but I just wanted to show you, the pickup tube and everything. So, but on this particular board, it's about a 48 millimeter chip. And we could use a smaller nozzle, but there's not any components on the top side. So what I like to do is I like to heat up as much of the board as I can to get an even reflow. So we're using a 60 millimeter nozzle. And for this particular machine, we can get just about any size, any shaped nozzle. And what I have here, I've got down as low as a 5 millimeter nozzle. So we can go from a 5 millimeter nozzle right here all the way up to a 60 millimeter nozzle. We have rectangular nozzles, small, rectangular nozzles, big. Got rectangular nozzles we can use for surface mount connectors. So there's a lot of variety. I can just get just about anything you want. Like again, we sell the machines, we sell all the supplies, the flux, the solder balls, the nozzles, everything you need. Reflow ovens. So pretty much you come to us, we can set you up with a complete BGA Rework shop, rework process, train your employees. It's the whole 9 yards. So here we are. I've got my nozzle on. Just gonna look at our vision system. Everything's lined up here. I'm gonna load the profile for this board. It's already saved. This will save an unlimited number of profiles. Again, we will help you with the profile setup. If you purchase the machine from us, you can send us your board, and we'll set up the profile for it. Right now, I think I've got over 200 profiles in this particular machine. So I'm just scrolling through the list, loading the profile. The bottom heater nozzle does adjust up and down in case there's tall components on the bottom of the board. So I'm just going to move that the bottom hot air nozzle up close to the board, so we're getting maximum amount of heat. And my profile is loaded. And the starter works. I don't have the camera up close to the screen. You can find some videos online, but the starter just works like a Windows program, like almost like Excel. It's got tabs on the bottom, tabs on the top. You just switch through the screens to what you want to do. Then they have all the commands. So solder, desolder, manual, pickup. And so what we're going to do, we're just going to do a solder command. And it's going to go down. It's going to automatically pick up the component. I don't want to do solder, I'm sorry. I want to do pickup. Getting ahead of myself. We'll do pickup. Now it'll pick up the component. And then what we'll do is we'll pull out the split vision system, and we're going to align the solder balls to the pads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my camera. I'm going to zoom in here. You can see my circuit board pads are in gold, and my solder balls are sort of a silver blue. Use my micrometer adjust. I'm going to adjust the pads mainly in the middle of the screen. And then I'm going to go far. I'll zoom back out. What I want to do is I want to zoom in a little closer. There we go. It's too far. Now what I do is I want to make sure that we're even all the way across. So we're going to do X, Y, and theta. So I'm going to, right now we're looking at the right side, top right. Now we're going to move the top left. I don't know if our camera resolution is good enough on the screen that you can see this small, but I'm just going to do, it's cocked a little bit. I'm just going to do a little bit with the micrometer adjust on the theta. Recenter. Go back over to the right side. Readjust. Recenter. Go back over to the left side. Looks pretty good. Go down to the bottom left. Bottom right. And I'm going to go back to the center. Okay, so I'm back at the center. I'm just going to double check here, make sure everything looks the way we want it to look. So all of our solder balls are 100% aligned with the pad. I'm comfortable with that. We'll put our vision system back in, and then we just press solder now. So what this is going to do, it's going to go down and place the chip. We're just going to keep an eye on it here. Make sure that that it places and doesn't stick to the pickup tube and come back up. Nozzle automatically comes back up. There's about a 2.5 millimeter gap between the pickup tube and the chip. And so what I do is I always watch this, because sometimes you get with your fingers or what you're doing, you can get a little flux on the top of the chip, or you get a little flux on the pickup tube. And if it places the chip and the flux sticks to the pickup tube, sometimes you can lift the chip up and then drop it, and you won't notice it. So I always watch it when it places. But this one, everything's pretty clean here, and we placed it very smoothly. So right now, what we have going on is it's heating the component area with bottom hot air, and it's heating the component area with top hot air. And then I have my 6 infrared area heaters that are heating up the outside of this board. So we're not going to heat up the whole board to a reflow temperature. We're just going to get the whole board hot so that it'll not warp. This board's so thick it's not going to warp, but with thinner boards you want to have a nice perimeter so they don't warp. But also this will allow my board to heat up to a reflow temperature. So what I want to do is I want to have my chip in my board area from the top of the chip to the bottom of the board at a solder reflow temperature, so that everything melts evenly and sticks together correctly. This particular board, we've been reworking these or installing BGAs on this particular model for around 15 years now. So this is a pretty simple task for us. For this board, it's a repeat job. The overall profile should take about 6 to 7 minutes. Let's see what we have this one set up here. Yeah, this one, that's 3-zone profile. Most boards we can use 3-zone. This machine does have up to 8 zones that you can set up if you want to do some tricky stuff. So if you get some complex boards, if you want to set up a cooldown period or a slow cooldown with a slow ramp, you can do that. But mostly we just do a 3-zone profile and we start cooling down once it's done. So what will happen is after the machine's done reflowing, it'll has a nice cooling fan here. It's about 15-inch cooling fan. This will blow across the whole board, the heaters and everything. It cools down the whole machine. And then also the top and bottom heater fans will go on high to cool down the top and bottom heaters. So you have around a 2 to 3 minute cool down between installing components. So like I say, look at some of the larger machines, especially if you get the machines that have the hot air plate on the bottom. I don't know if you've seen those, but those hot air plates, sometimes they can take 15 to 20 minutes to cool down. So you have a really fast cool down time on these machines, so you can do a lot of volume of rework every day. We're just getting into zone 2 now. These area heaters, this particular one, you can shut off the front and back. If you have a board like that's over in the front, you don't want to waste your heat, you can turn off one or the other. Our higher model machines have rapid infrareds that are 6-zone, and you can run 2, 4, or 6 zone at a time. This is a nice little machine. If you want more information on it, you can email me, Dennis@pcb-repair.com. You can call me toll free, 888-406-2830. That's 888-406-2830. Our website is www.pcb-repair.com. Please join our Google Plus page. If you have questions, email me, post them on Google Plus. If there's something you'd like to see, a demo in particular that you'd like to see, let me know. We'll try and do a demo for you. But when you watch us, we're just here working every day, usually 9 to 5. And the demo videos we do are actual product that we're working on. So we're not doing anything with any smoke and mirrors. These are live videos, the real machine, the real product, the real McCoy. We're not trying to trick you and do like some of the places do. They get a little bitty board, a little bitty chip, and they say, hey, see how easy this is? And that's not always the fact. This board, like I say, when we first profiled it, it has a lot of ground on one side, a lot of signal on the other. And so the chip has a tendency to get hotter on the signal side faster than the ground side and go down crooked. So when we first started doing this board years ago, it did take us some time to develop a profile and a ramp that'll make the chip flow down evenly. So we are using a very slow ramp on this. It allows the board to soak up the heat gradually and heat more evenly. And then we're using a very high area heater temperature to heat up the outside of the board. And the combination will allow this this board to come to reflow temperature all at the same time, even though we have uneven signal and ground, and it'll allow the chip to go down flat. So we have a little light on the side here. And what I'll do is actually I can get in here with the camera or with the light. We do have machines with cameras for side views, but I sell them. I've never used them. Basically, I get a pair of high magnification glasses, and I'll keep an eye on the solder balls, and we can see when they reflow. We're just about to reflow temperature. We should be reflowing up. We're reflowing right now. Just what I thought, so I'm just going to watch it. And we're starting to get a little twinkle. Yeah, just about reflowed all the way across, and then we'll give it about a 60-second countdown. Like I said, this machine is pretty fine-tuned, so I'm going to let it go through its own countdown. We're counting down to about 60 seconds. And then it'll be done. We'll let it cool down. We'll do an x-ray, clean the flux out from underneath. And this board's shipping out today. So pretty simple, straightforward on a installation process. Removal is just the opposite. We'll usually put a little flux under them to remove them, make sure they come off easy and don't pull any pads off the boards. If you are doing rework and you are lifting pads, we also do repair lifted pads, traces, circuitry. We can do interlayer repairs, gold finger repairs. So we do anything, any type of fab damage on the circuit board, we can repair it here. I'll take another quick look here. See how it's down. It looks nice and even. Got a few more seconds to go. 10 seconds and counting. Nice. The machine's going to go up. I don't know if you can hear it. The cooling fans come on, so we're cooling top, bottom, and cross fan. I have a time. You can set the time, so I have a time to run for 3 minutes. That'll cool down the machine. It'll cool down the board, and then we'll be ready to go with the next product. So again, I want to thank you for watching. Please post your questions, comments. Feel free to call me anytime. And I'm Dennis with Precision PCB Services, Inc. Products, services, training, consulting for the assembly, rework, and repair of printed circuit boards and electronic assemblies. Have a great day.